صلوات. جب ردا سر سے چھینی میں صدا دیتی رہی، تو نہ آیا غازی. جب ردا سر سے چھینی میں صدا دیتی رہی، تو نہ آیا غازی. آل عمران نے کہا اور زندہ نے کہا، یہ بہن قیدی ہوئی، تو نہ آیا غازی. جب ردا سر سے چھینی میں صدا دیتی رہی، تو نہ آیا غازی. ہم کو پانی نہ ملے تیرے خوشبو تو رہے، تیرے بازو نہ کٹے شاہ مشکی زاچیندے. یہ مگر نہ سکا تیرے بازو ہے جدا، مجھ پہ ہے تشنا لبی، تو نہ آیا غازی. جب ردا سر سے چھینی میں صدا دیتی رہی، تو نہ آیا غازی. دھوپ میں تو تاش جر تجھ سے آباد تھا گھر، ہے برہنا میرا سر کیا نہیں تجھ کو خبر. اے علمدار اے وفا اس بہن کو باخدا، تجھ سے دھارس تھی بھری، تو نہ آیا غازی. جب ردا سر سے چھینی میں صدا دیتی رہی، تو نہ آیا غازی. آ گئی شام علم لٹ گئے اہل حرم، ریت پر جلتی ہوئی ہو گیا ٹھنڈا علم. پرس دینے کے لیے مجھ سے ملنے کے لیے آگے بابا علی، تو نہ آیا غازی. جب ردا سر سے چھینی میں صدا دیتی رہی، تو نہ آیا غازی. کیا کہوں شعر میرے بیریدہ ہم کو لیے، یہ مسلمان سارے شے در شہر گئے. خلقت کوفہ کبھی خلقت شام کبھی، اور ہے ہم پہ ہنسی، تو نہ آیا غازی. جب ردا سر سے چھینی میں صدا دیتی رہی، تو نہ آیا غازی. کتنی بے باس تھی بہن اے شہنشاہ اے وفا، نام لے لے کے میرا جب یہ ظالم نے کہا. ناز تھا جس پہ تجھے اب بلاؤ نہ اسے، اور میں روتی رہی، تو نہ آیا غازی. جب ردا سر سے چھینی میں صدا دیتی رہی، تو نہ آیا غازی.
ایک مرتبہ اور صلوات پڑھ لیجیے. حسینی فکر و تدبر دکھا گئے سجاد. حسینی فکر و تدبر دکھا گئے سجاد. دل نفاق پہ بجلی گرا گئے سجاد. دل نفاق پہ بجلی گرا گئے سجاد. دیار کرب و بلا میں دیار شام تلک پیام دل بر زہرا سنا گئے سجاد. پیام دل بر زہرا سنا گئے سجاد. ہر ایک مقام پہ ایثار و استقامت سے ہر ایک مقام پہ ایثار و استقامت سے رخ نفاق سے پردے ہٹا گئے سجاد. حسینی فکر و تدبر دکھا گئے سجاد. ہر ایک صاحب ایمان پہ شکر لازم ہے. ہر ایک صاحب ایمان پہ شکر لازم ہے. عبادتوں کا سلیقہ سکھا گئے سجاد. عبادتوں کا سلیقہ سکھا گئے سجاد. ہو کربلائے مولا کہ شام کی منزل ہو کربلائے مولا کہ شام کی منزل. فصاحتوں کے سمندر بہا گئے سجاد. فصاحتوں کے سمندر بہا گئے سجاد. اور جہاں پہ ظلم و ستم کی حدیں تمام ہوئی جہاں پہ ظلم و ستم کی حدیں تمام ہوئی اسی مقام کو جنت بنا گئے سجاد. اسی مقام کو جنت بنا گئے سجاد. اور لہو لہو تھے قدم رہا گزر میں خاروں سے لہو لہو تھے قدم راہ گزر میں خاروں سے مگر حسینی تحمل دکھا گئے سجاد مگر حسینی تحمل دکھا گئے سجاد ردائے بنتے علی سر سے چھن گئی تھی مگر ردائے بنتے علی سر سے چھن گئی تھی مگر معیار صبر کو چادر بنا گئے سجاد حسینی فکر و تدبر دکھا گئے سجاد جھلس رہے تھے سمر دھوپ سے نقوش وفا جھلس رہے تھے سمر دھوپ سے نقوش وفا مثال ابر زمانے پر چھا گئے سجاد مثال ابر زمانے پر چھا گئے سجاد حسینی فکر و تدبر دکھا گئے سجاد صلوات پر محمد وعلی محمد
صلوات پر محمد وآل محمد
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرج بار دیگر صلوات اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد
ہے سلام اس پہ جو بے کس بھی ہے لاچار بھی ہے سلام اس پہ جو بے کس بھی ہے لاچار ایک لٹے قافلے کا قافل ایک لٹے قافلے کا قافلہ سالار محسن قوم بھی ہے صاحب آزار بھی ہے، ایسا قیدی جو مسیحا بھی ہے، ایسا قیدی جو مسیحا بھی ہے، بیمار بھی ہے، بیڑیاں پاؤں میں، ہاتھوں میں دو عالم کا نظام، بیڑیاں پاؤں میں، ہاتھوں میں دو عالم کا نظام، حق کا پابند بھی کونین کا، حق کا پابند بھی کونین کا، مختار بھی ہے، جانب شام چلا فتح مبین کی خاطر، وہ سپاہی بھی ہے لشکر بھی ہے، وہ سپاہی بھی ہے لشکر بھی ہے، سردار بھی ہے، منقلب کر دیا ایک خطبے سے سارا دربار، یہ وہ قیدی ہے جو مجبور بھی، یہ وہ قیدی ہے جو مجبور بھی، مختار بھی ہے، داغ سینے پہ ہے اور سر پہ یتیمی کا غبار، داغ سینے پہ ہے اور سر پہ یتیمی کا غبار، بے پدر بھی ہے بھرے گھر کا، بے پدر بھی ہے بھرے گھر کا، آزادار بھی ہے، منبر شام پہ اس طرح پڑھا ہے خطبہ، منبر شام پہ اس طرح پڑھا ہے خطبہ، ایسا لگتا تھا یہی ہے، ایسا لگتا تھا یہی ہے درے کرار ہے، سلام اس پہ جو بے کس بھی ہے، لاچار بھی ہے، فاتحہ۔ صلوات پر محمد. قید خانے میں تلا تم ہے کہ ہند آتی ہے. قید خانے میں تلا تم ہے کہ ہند آتی ہے. دختر فاطمہ غیرت سے موئی جاتی ہے. روح قالب میں وہ زندان میں گھبراتی ہے. بے حواسی سے ہر ایک بار وہ چلاتی ہے. بے حواسی سے ہر ایک بار وہ چلاتی ہے. آسماں دور زمیں سخت کدھر جاؤں میں. بیویوں مل کے دعا مانگو کہ مر جاؤں میں. بیویوں مل کے دعا مانگو کہ مر جاؤں میں. کس طرح ہند کے آنے سے نہ گھبراؤں میں. بنت حیدر ہوں نہ کیوں قید میں شرماؤں میں. کوئی دیوار جو شق ہو تو سمجھ جاؤں میں. سیدھے ماں جائے کے مقتل کو چلی جاؤں میں. کربلا میں نہ یہ ذلت ہے نہ رسوائی ہے. بیردا میں ہوں تو بے گور میرا بھائی ہے. بیردا میں ہوں تو بے گور میرا بھائی ہے. بیردا میں ہوں تو بے گور میرا بھائی ہے. ناگہاں فضا نے دی اہل حرم کو یہ خبر ہند آتی ہے. بڑے جاہو تحمل سے ادھر بحرق نقر اوزر کی ہیں. جلوں کے اندر سب کنیزیں تو ردا اوڑی ہیں. وہ ننگے سر پر سواری بہت آہستہ رواں ہوتی ہے. ہر قدم ہند ٹھہر جاتی ہے اور روتی ہے. کہتی ہے قیدیوں کے شور و بکا نے مارا مجھ کو اس ہائے حسینہ کی صدا نے مارا. ان کے سردار کو کس اہل دغا نے مارا. کیا وہ سید تھا جسے اہل دغا نے مارا. ایک بجلی سی کلیجے پہ میرے گرتی ہے. ننگے سر فاطمہ آنکھوں کے تلے پھرتی ہے. ننگے سر فاطمہ آنکھوں کے تلے پھرتی ہے. ننگے سر فاطمہ آنکھوں کے تلے پھرتی ہے. لونڈیاں تھی زن حاکم کی جلوں میں جو رواں دیکھتی کیا ہے کہ ایک شیر ہے آہن میں نہالا غرو خستہ تنو فاقہ کشو تشنہ دہاں منہ پہ سیلی کے نشاں پشت پہ دروں کے نشاں ساق پا فاقے سے زنجیر میں تھراتی ہے استخوانوں سے لرزنے کی صدا آتی ہے استخوانوں سے لرزنے کی صدا آتی ہے گرد عابد کے پھری ہند بحال تغیر رکھ دیا پاؤں پہ سر اپنا ہٹا کر زنجیر بولے وہ کون ہے بولی کے کنیز شبیر السلام اے رسنوں توق و سلاسل کے اسیر ہے وصیت کا محل مرنے پہ تیار ہے تو کچھ کفن کے لیے رکھتا ہے کہ نادار ہے تو کچھ کفن کے لیے رکھتا ہے کہ نادار ہے تو غم نہ کھا گور و کفن میں تجھے دوں گی للہ ننگے سر تیرے جنازے کے چلوں گی ہمراہ مرنے والے تیرا کیا نام ہے کب سے ہے تباہ بولے مولا ابھی 40 برس جینا ہے نام بے کس بھی ہے قیدی بھی ہے نادار بھی ہے حال یہ ہے کہ اسیری بھی ہے آزار بھی ہے حال یہ ہے کہ اسیری بھی ہے آزار بھی ہے حال یہ ہے کہ اسیری بھی ہے آزار بھی ہے ہند نے پوچھا مرض کیا ہے کہا بے پدری رو کے وہ بولی دوا کیا ہے کہا نوحہ گری گھر جو دریافت کیا کہنے لگے در بدری بولی لیتا ہے خبر کون کہا بے خبری آہ کرنے کا سبب پوچھا تو شرمانے لگے تازیانوں کے نشہ پشت پہ دکھلانے لگے تازیانوں کے نشہ پشت پہ دکھلانے لگے تازیانوں کے نشہ پشت پہ دکھلانے لگے بولی وہ کون سی سیاہ پہ ملی یہ تازی رو کے فرمایا گناہ کچھ بھی نہیں بے تقصیر اس نے منہ پیٹ لیا اور کہا کب سے ہو اسیر بولے مولا ابھی بولے 10ویں تھی محرم کی جو پہنے زنجیر کچھ کفن کے لیے ہمراہ نہیں لایا ہوں باپ کو چھوڑ کے بے گور و کفن آیا ہوں باپ کو چھوڑ کے بے گور و کفن آیا ہوں باپ کو چھوڑ کے بے گور و کفن آیا ہوں قید خانے میں
Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat. I just have a couple of really brief reminders. For Jummah Namaz tomorrow, there is arrangements that will be made here, and Jamaat will be led by Sheikh Mohamed Abbas Panju. There will be intizam for ladies as well, so that they can join in the congregation. On Sunday, August 4th, between 3 and 8 p.m., there will be a blood drive in the Legacy Hall. We are asking for you to please register. It is highly recommended, although you are more than welcome to walk in as well. There are QR codes for registering outside this hall and in the old hall as well as on IECHUSAINI.org. On the homepage, you'll find a link to register for the blood drive. The third thing is for IHS Hussaini Sunday School registration, which is open for K through 12 students. There is an early registration discount again until this Sunday, August 4th, for families that are registering for the new school year, and classes will be beginning from September 1st in about a month. You can find the registration at iechusaini.org/school, and that's all. I would humbly request our guest, Sheikh Abbas Panju, to come and address the Majlis. Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat.
رحم الله من قرأ سورة المباركة الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله بارئ الخلائق الأجمعين، باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء، حبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. ثم الصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين، لا سيما ولي الله الحجة ابن الحسن صاحب الأمر والزمان. اللهم صل على محمد. روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الأولين والآخرين إلى قيام يوم الدين. آمين رب العالمين. صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله. صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله. يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويباب نجاة الأمة يا غريب الغرباء يا مظلوم كربلاء السلام على من جعل الله الشفاء في تربته السلام على من الإجابة تحت قبته السلام على ساكن كربلاء فيا ليتنا ثم يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي يا سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما أما بعد قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه الحكيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يحق الله الحق بكلماته ولو كره المجرمون صدق الله العلي العظيم وآمنا به زينوا مجالسكم بذكر محمد وآل محمد أحبائي, you find that throughout history Bani Umayyah and Bani Abbas exerted all their efforts to try and obliterate the dhikr of Karbala. And you find that from the previous majalis, as we had mentioned, some of the mu'mineen, that from the very beginning, from the 12th of Shahr Muharram, the likes of Ibn Ziyad al-La'in worked hard to manipulate the narrative of Karbala. You find that the governments of the time did everything that they could to obliterate and ensure that the reality and the truth of what happened on the day of Ashura did not reach the ears of the public. They tried to obliterate the massacre. They tried to obliterate two things. Number one is the gruesome manner in which the Imam became Shaheed. They tried to obliterate this. They tried to cover this up. They tried to obliterate the heroics of Ali Muhammad and the feats that were achieved by Ali Muhammad on the day of Ashura. This they tried to obliterate. And number three, they tried to obliterate the values and the principles for which Imam al-Hussein left Medina to come to Karbala to begin with. So we have to understand that these regimes and these powers did everything within their power to try and obliterate and hide forever the reality of what happened on the plains of Ashura. And you find that this silsila, this behavior of these tugat, these oppressive nature, was not only with Bani Umayyah and Bani Abbas, but you find that this tradition of obliterating and suppressing the reality of Ashura continues ila yawmina hadha, until this day and age. For you find over here that as these forces of dhulm worked hard either to dilute, either to obliterate the dhikr of Karbala in its entirety, on the other hand, you find that the Imams of Ali Muhammad worked diligently through the divine command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to ensure that the dhikr of Karbala is never obliterated. And you find that the Ma'soom Imams, from Imam Sajjad Ruhi Lahul Fida, worked very meticulously within the ummah to ensure that the reality of what happened on the day of Ashura is not obliterated, suppressed, or manipulated. And one of the manners in which the Imams did this is that they encouraged their ashab to write books that are known as the Maqtal of Imam al-Husayn, for two reasons. Like as we said, to ensure that this reality is not obliterated, neither is it altered or diluted, and that people become ignorant of what happened on the day of Ashura. So you find that the divine Imams encouraged their companions to start writing the Maqtal and the events of what happened on the day of Ashura. And for the purpose of tonight's Majlis, I would like to discuss with you and analyze certain aspects of the first Maqtal that was written in regards to the events and the tragedies of what happened on the day of Ashura. Who authored the first Maqtal? What was the personality of the author? Number two. Number three, what is the importance and from a perspective of a historical timeline of this first Maqtal that was authored? And finally, what happened to this Maqtal, and is it still present with us in this day and age? All of this with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And towards the end of the Majlis, we will draw important conclusions from this historical analysis. We have, through numerous research, what is apparent. What is apparent? Yani what is dhahir? So this is not jazm. We are not able to say confidently 100%. But what is apparent is that the first Maqtal to be authored by the companions of the Ma'soom Imam was the Maqtal of Asbagh ibn Nubata. And when I say this is what is apparent, because from all the literature that we have inherited, nobody can claim to say that they have ilm of everything. Sahih Lola, what conclusions we are able to draw is based on the ilm that has reached us. And perhaps 20, 30, 50, 100 years from today, other researchers will come, other scholars will come within the Hawza Ilmiya, and they may find that there is other research and there are other manuscripts that they have got access to that surpasses what we are able to find in this day and age. Therefore, out of ihtaram for the culture of ilm, we do not say this is indeed the 100% the first Maqtal. There could be somebody who comes 50, 60 years later and finds a Maqtal older than that of Asbagh ibn Nubata. In ilm, ahibai, we should not become Fir'auns. That only what I know is what is correct. Only what I have seen is correct. This is being a Fir'aun in intellectualism. This is not how the culture of ilm works. And from here, we are able to, if we understand this one point, there are a number of issues that we are able to quash and a number of disputes that we are able to resolve, particularly when it comes to Muharram. Somebody says, Fulan part of the Masa'ib, we have never heard it, so it's fabricated. Fulan part of a Masa'ib, 50 years we have not heard in the Majlis, now this person comes and says it's fabricated. Baba, who said that everything we have heard is everything that happened on the day of Ashura? We cannot be taghuts, fir'auns when it comes to ilm. In any case, So the first maqtal that we know about is the maqtal of Asbagh ibn Nubata. Tamam, who was Asbagh ibn Nubata? Asbagh ibn Nubata was born according to a number of historical indications during the time of Rasulullah, and died in the year, according to Agha Buzurg al-Tehrani in his book Dhari'a Encyclopedia, roughly Asbagh ibn Nubata died in around 100 AH, which means that he lived from the time of Rasulullah all the way until the time of Imam al-Baqir. And what we are able to understand is that in 61 AH, immediately after the shahadat of Imam al-Husain, under the command of Imam Sajjad Ruhi Lahul Fida, and Asbagh's duty towards Ahlul Bayt, he felt that this is his duty, as you will see within his character. Asbagh began to record the events of Karbala immediately. So what we are able to understand is one of the khususiyat of Karbala and the events of Ashura is that historically the events of Karbala were written immediately within the same year, as opposed to a number of historical events where they may occur in a certain year, but the actual events of that occurrence are recorded 30, 50, 60, 100, 200 years later. However, with Ashura, the recording of the Maqtal began immediately in 61 AH. So Asbagh was born during the time of Rasulullah and died around 100 AH. Began recording the Maqtal immediately after Ashura. Tamam. Who is Asbagh ibn Nubata? Asbagh ibn Nubata is one of the closest companions of Amirul Mu'mineen Ruhi Lahul Fida, which is why if you go back within the books of Rijal and within the works of the ulama, you will find that Asbagh is described as being one of the khawas of Amirul Mu'mineen. See, the companions and the Sahaba of Amirul Mu'mineen, companions have different darajat. Sometimes you have a regular Sahaba, sometimes you have a Sahabi who is from Ba'id. He has seen the Imam, recorded or narrated one or two traditions, but is not very close to the Imam. Sometimes you have a person who is within the regular companions. Sometimes you have those who are known to be the Hawariyin, the closest of the close with Imam Amirul Mu'mineen. They wouldn't leave the shadow of Amirul Mu'mineen. They're known as the Hawariyin. And then you have the Khawas. These are the elite of the elite, the special of the special. Asbagh ibn Nubata was from the Khawas. And we are able to understand that this martaba and this daraja that he had attained as the khawas of Amirul Mu'mineen is seen from his contributions, his accomplishments during the time of Amirul Mu'mineen. Number one, Asbagh ibn Nubata never gave bay'ah to those who usurped the khilafah of Amirul Mu'mineen. So we are able to understand that he was a Muwali Shi'i from the very onset, number one. Number two, the books of history have narrated that Asbagh ibn Nubata was part of the Shurtatul Khamis. The Shurtatul Khamis was an elite force that was commanded by Amirul Mu'mineen when the Zahiri Khilafah was given to him. And these elite companions, Amirul Mu'mineen had taken bay'ah from them. It was a two-way bay'ah. Not a two-way bay'ah, astaghfirullah. It was a bay'ah in which there was a two-way agreement. The bay'ah was that these people from Shurtatul Khamis gave bay'ah to Amirul Mu'mineen that we will stand by your side and we will be those who will work as you establish Islam even at the cost of our lives. The way they say bay'ah bid-dam, bay'ah with the blood. And in return, we said two-way agreement. In return, Amirul Mu'mineen said to them, wa ana admin lakumul jannah. I guarantee for you Jannah. This was the Shurtatul Khamis. Now something which is latif over here. Who can be a dhamin to Jannah? It is only if you have milkiyat of Jannah that you can give dhamana of Jannah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Ya Ali. Ya Ali. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil faraja. Tamam. So the Shurtatul Khamis was this elite force that had given bay'ah to Amir al-Mu'mineen by blood. Amir al-Mu'mineen has guaranteed them Jannah. Asbagh is from this elite force, Shurtatul Khamis. Asbagh ibn Nubata. See, what we're doing is you're looking at the sifat of the author of the first maqtal of Imam al-Hussein. Shufu how this deen has reached us. Shufu how this events of Karbala has reached us. Asbagh ibn Nubata is also known to be from amongst those companions who participated in war and fought underneath the command of Amir al-Mu'mineen against Aisha in the Battle of Jamal, and fought under the command of Amir al-Mu'mineen against Muawiyah in the Battle of Siffin. We are also able to understand that from the accomplishments of Asbagh ibn Nubata, he was one of those few companions that was allowed to be present in the house of Amir al-Mu'mineen during his final days. So when Amir al-Mu'mineen was struck on the 19th of Shahr Ramadan and became Shaheed on the 21st of Shahr Ramadan, if you remember, we recite in the Maqtal of Amir al-Mu'mineen that Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba then told all the companions to leave so that the family could be together with Amir al-Mu'mineen. One of the only companions or few companions who was allowed to remain inside of the house was Asbagh ibn Nubata, which is why a lot of the details of the Maqtal of Amir al-Mu'mineen and the final moments of what happened in the life of Amir al-Mu'mineen is narrated to us through Asbagh ibn Nubata. From the accomplishments of Asbagh in terms of his wilaya and the fact that he participated in war, Asbagh ibn Nubata also contributed to the propagation of Shia literature to a great extent during his lifetime. So for example, you will find in Nahjul Balagha, we have the final wasiyah of Amir al-Mu'mineen to Muhammad ibn Hanafiya. This wasiyah was narrated to us by who? By Asbagh ibn Nubata. Inside of Nahjul Balagha, we have the covenant of Malik al-Ashtar, the covenant of Amir al-Mu'mineen to Malik al-Ashtar, which was then supposed to be the constitution through which Malik al-Ashtar would rule in Egypt. You find that Bain al-Qawsayn, Kofi Annan, few years back, he quoted this ahad of Malik al-Ashtar, that this should be a blueprint of how countries need to lead themselves. You find this is inside of Google. You can go and you can see this. This covenant of Malik al-Ashtar, covenant of Amir al-Mu'mineen to Malik al-Ashtar, which was supposed to be the constitution of Egypt, is found in Nahjul Balagha. Who narrated this covenant of Malik al-Ashtar to us? Asbagh ibn Nubata. You have Asbagh ibn Nubata, in addition to this, had authored. So he was an author, scholar. See, he was a mujahid on one hand, in that he participated in Jamal and participated in Siffin. And just like the way his sword was sharp, his qalam and his pen was also sharp. So he wrote a book which has the qadha of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Aqdiyat Amir al-Mu'mineen. During the years of Zahiri Khilafah that was given to Amir al-Mu'mineen, all the judicial laws that emanated from Amir al-Mu'mineen whilst leading the Islamic government, you find Asbagh ibn Nubata used to read this out. When you go to Masjid al-Kufa, Allah Azza wa Jal give all of us the opportunity to visit Masjid al-Kufa and do the ziyarat of Amir. You find inside of Masjid al-Kufa there is Dikkatul Qadha, Sahlola, one of the places where we recite 2 rakat salat. Next to Dikkatul Tasht, you have Dikkatul Qadha. Dikkatul Qadha is where the high court of Amir al-Mu'mineen was. And this is where he would give judicial rulings and rule between the people. Asbagh ibn Nubata used to sit and write this. A manuscript, a copy of this, Aqdiyat Amir al-Mu'mineen, which is authored by Asbagh ibn Nubata, one copy of this manuscript was found in the Hamidiyya library in Turkey. And we have copies of this in the public library of Tehran as well, if I'm not mistaken. So you find that Asbagh ibn Nubata has a track record when it comes to the propagation of the knowledge of Ali Muhammad. In addition to this, Asbagh ibn Nubata was also a qadi, was also a rawi. A rawi in that you find within our 4 books, Kitabul Kafi, Man La Yahdharuhu al-Faqih, Tahdhibul Ahkam, and Istibsar, you find that the name Asbagh ibn Nubata, he comes up in at least 60 different chain of narrators, which means that the ulama of the past, yani the asatin, the foundations of tashayyu within the ghaiba of the imam, within the 4 books narrated or depended on the narrations of Asbagh ibn Nubata. Outside the 4 books, Asbagh's name is there in a number of traditions. And from the hadith that were narrated, in addition to the fiqhi hadith of Asbagh ibn Nubata, Asbagh ibn Nubata was one of those people who held and propagated the wilaya of Amir al-Mu'mineen from the very forefront. Intum, you have seen and you have heard of this hadith where Rasulullah says, Ana madinatul ilm wa aliyun babuha. I am the door of knowledge, or I am the city of knowledge, and Ali is its door. We have another hadith which is narrated by Asbagh ibn Nubata, where he says, I heard from Amir al-Mu'mineen. Amir al-Mu'mineen said that Rasulullah said to me, Ana madinatul jannah wa anta ya Ali babuha. I am the city of Jannah, yani I am Jannah. This Jannah which is in the form of a city, I am that city. Wa anta ya Ali, you are the door to Jannah. And Rasulullah then goes on to say, wa kadhib man za'ama annahu yadkhuluha min ghayri babiha. These a liar and a liar for the one who thinks he can enter Jannah other than through the doors of Jannah. Ya Ali. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Amir al-Mu'mineen is the door to Jannah. To enter Jannah, you enter through the door. Who tries to enter a house by jumping the walls? Anyone can even enter Jannah by trying to jump through the walls? Subhanallah, even within the hadith of the Fada'il of Amir al-Mu'mineen, there is great isharat of tabarra. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Sometimes we think these people, they come even within our circles and they tell us tabarra, don't do tabarra, sectarianism and this and that, and it gives us a bad image. Shufu, there is the fiqh of tabarra. How to do tabarra, there is kalam inside of this, there is a manner to do it, there is a time to do it, there is a place to do tabarra. But tabarra in its essence, you cannot say this is not part of the deen. A person who comes and tells us tabarra is not part of the religion, aslan didn't understand the kalima. Because the kalima that begins where you say in your kalima, Ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah is made of 2 things, tabarra and tawalla. When you say La ilaha, this is tabarra. I am disassociating from any other ma'bud. This is tabarra. La ilaha. When you complete it and you say illallah tawalla, your shahada is not complete if you don't believe in tabarra. Tamam. For you find that Asbagh ibn Nubata was at the forefront. Hadith in regards to Tawalla and the Wilaya of Amir al-Mu'mineen were great. There's another occasion where once Asbagh ibn Nubata saw Abu Huraira. Abu Huraira together with Muawiyah al-La'in. You know, Abu Huraira was a character that was ajib and gharib. Is one of those people in the battle of Siffin. This is mentioned in the books of history. Abu Huraira would recite on certain nights, because the battle of Siffin lasted for a number of months. He would recite, sometimes he would come and he would recite Salat in the camp of Amir al-Mu'mineen. But when it came time to eat, he would go and eat in the camp of Muawiyah. Ala kullin, once Abu Huraira was seated together with Muawiyah. Asbagh ibn Nubata came. He said to Abu Huraira, were you present on the day of Ghadir Khum? Abu Huraira said yes. He said, and if by taking a pledge or an oath on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, can you remember and narrate what Rasulullah said on the day of Ghadir? This is Abu Huraira in front of Muawiyah. Abu Huraira now is bound by an oath. So he said yes. Asbagh asks him, what did Rasulullah say? Abu Huraira says, this is in Kitabul Idah. Abu Huraira replied, he said that Rasulullah said in regards to Amir al-Mu'mineen, man kuntum mawla, fahada aliyun mawla, Allahumma wali man wala, wa adi man adah. Whoever's master I am, Ali is his master. Ya Allah, you be a wali to anyone who is a wali to Ali, and you be an enemy to anyone who is an enemy of Ali. Asbagh ibn Nubata then said to Abu Huraira, wa ashhadu, I bear witness, annaka walayta man adahu Allah wa adayta man walahu Allah. I bear witness that you, because Rasulullah said, Allahumma wali man wala, you became, instead of becoming a friend to the one who is the wali of Allah, you became the enemy of the wali of Allah. And instead of being an enemy to the enemies of Allah, you became a friend to the enemy of Allah. Asbagh ibn Nubata, ham tawalli, ham tabarri. This is Deen Kamil. And Asbagh ibn Nubata was at the forefront of this. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Ya Ali. Tamam. This is the sifat of the author, Asbagh ibn Nubata, who authored the first Maktal and recorded the details of what transpired and what happened in terms of the gruesome killing and the martyrdom of Imam al-Hussein and his companions. This Maktal of Asbagh ibn Nubata, we find Sheikh Tusi, Rahmatullah alayh, Sheikh Tusi in his book Al-Fahrast mentions that from amongst the writings of Asbagh ibn Nubata, in that he conveyed to us the will of Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, the will of Amir al-Mu'mineen to Muhammad ibn Hanafiya. He narrated to us the covenant of Amir al-Mu'mineen to Malik al-Ashtar. In addition to this, Asbagh ibn Nubata had a book called Maqtal al-Husayn. And the copy of this Maqtal was in the possession of Sheikh Tusi. Sheikh Tusi died in 460 AH. Asbagh ibn Nubata died when? In 100 AH, according to Agha Buzurg al-Tahrani in his Dhari'ah. So give or take 100 to 460 AH, for 360 years, this Maqtal of Asbagh ibn Nubata was mutadawal, was present within the community, at least even if it is within the khawas, within a selected group of people. But this Maqtal was present, and people not only referenced it, but also wrote from the Maqtal of Asbagh ibn Nubata. Sheikh Tusi in his book Al-Fahrast even states that between 460 and 100 is what? 360 years. Within this 360 years, Sheikh Tusi had written the chain of narrators through whom he received the book, going all the way back up to Asbagh ibn Nubata. 7 people in this chain of narrators. Sheikh Tusi, his teacher takes from Al-Darawi all the way up, the companions of the Imams, it goes to Asbagh ibn Nubata. Now some people have come forward and they said that this book, the Maqtal of Asbagh ibn Nubata, this is something that is fabricated or is something that we cannot rely upon. Why? Because they come and say there are 2 issues within the chain of narrators. Number one, within the chain of narrators, from these 7 people, we have at least one of these people within the chain of narrators who is majhul. The name of this Rawi, it is possible he could be from the companion of Imam al-Kadhim, or he could be a companion of a different Imam. So there is discrepancy. We don't know who the name of this person is. We can't identify the person, which makes the person majhul. So they say, because of this, we don't accept the maqtal. They say, Baba, this is a mistake. In usulul fiqh, or in usulul hadith, there is a stark difference between the fact that the tariq towards the book could be da'if. But just because the tariq towards the book is da'if doesn't mean or doesn't necessitate adam sihhatu nisba ila al-mu'allif. Doesn't mean that if the tariq to the kitab is weak, that the book in itself does not exist. This is a mughalata. This is a grave error for people to come and sit on the minbar and make conclusions like this. This is number one. Number two, they say we can't rely on this maqtal of Asbagh ibn Nubata, and we can't say that this was a book that existed for sure. Why? Because within the chain of narrators there is an individual called Abu Jarud. Abu Jarud was the companion of Imam al-Baqir and the companion of Imam al-Sadiq. But when the movement of Zayd bin Shahid happened, the son of Imam Sajjad, people went and they manipulated and they exploited the revolution of Zayd. So they used this for political issues, and then they built their own sect, and they broke away and became opposition to Imam al-Baqir and Sadiq. Zayd al-Shahid himself was Saleh Shahid, rahmatullah alayh, from the children of Ali Muhammad, who played a great role in reviving the tragedy of Karbala and upholding the values of Ali Muhammad. But like many revolutions, the people of the revolution are pious. Years later, people come and they manipulate, they exploit this revolution for their own personal agendas. The same thing happened to Zayd. Abu Jarud was one of those people who fell into this trap and became a Zaydi. So they say, now because this person is a Zaydi, how can you take the maqtal of Imam al-Hussein from a person who is not even Imamiyya Ithna Ashari? There is no credibility in regards to this. This is the ishkal. However, we reply back to this ishkal by saying that if you actually have tatabbu', if you follow and you do research within the books of ahadith, Sheikh al-Saduq in his text Uyun al-Akhbar has narrated for us at least two hadith through which we understand that Abu Jarud, yes, he went astray and he fell into the trap of the Zaydis and affiliated and ascribed himself to be a Zaydi, but he repented towards the end of his life and came back to the path of the Ithna Ashari. And there are many times the fitna of the times was such that even a person who is honest, a person is sincere, gets led, he becomes astray. Subhanallah, tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that before he died he realized that he has gone astray and he came back to the path of the Imamiyya. And hence we understand that in his life he may not have been perfect, and his i'tiqadat, he may have gone towards the Zaydiyya, but his credibility as a scholar to not alter text maintained. And from here we are able to discount any ishkal that may come from a Rijali perspective in regards to the maqtal of Asbagh ibn Nubata. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Tamam. This maqtal of Asbagh ibn Nubata reached Sheikh al-Tusi. Now we have over here the maqtal of Asbagh ibn Nubata. What happened to this maqtal? It did not reach us until today. Within the books of history, we have that this entire maqtal was destroyed. Destroyed when? When the Sejalic Turks attacked Baghdad during the time of Sheikh al-Tusi. The entire libraries of Sheikh al-Tusi that had manuscripts, including the Usul Arbamiyya 400 texts that were written by the companions of the Imams during the times of the Imams. The entire library of Sheikh Tusi was burnt down to the ground. Sigilics, according to a number of historians, were Hanafis in their fiqh because of their hatred towards Sheikh Tusi, their hatred rather towards Ali Muhammad. They burnt down the entire library. They burnt the mimbar on which Sheikh Tusi used to sit in Baghdad and give fatwas and teach the i'tiqadat of Ali Muhammad. As a result of which Sheikh Tusi had to leave Baghdad, because Baghdad was the capital of Shiaism for a number of years within Ghaibat al-Sughra and Kubra. In fact, from the time of Imam al-Qadim, Baghdad, Madinatul Salam, was the capital of Tashayyu'. Sheikh Tusi, due to the attack of the Sigilic Turks and their invasion of Baghdad, had to flee Baghdad and came to Najaf. What pains us is the Shia literature that was burnt. And this is not the first time. You find even during the time of, just before Sheikh Tusi, I believe, libraries, Shia libraries were destroyed when the Mukhalifin would come raid our libraries and they would throw manuscripts into the river Dajla. How many of you have seen the river Dajla on the way to Samarra? Ishgat Azim this river is. Historians have written for 2 to 3 days the color of the river had changed to black. Why? Because the ink has bloated. How many of our literature has been destroyed? Salahuddin Ayyubi, when he conquered Egypt, the Fatimid dynasty was there. They went into Cairo and they burnt literatures of the Shias, the Imamiyah or the Shia, even if they were Ghair Imami, Shia literature inside of the libraries. They say up to 6 months in the hammam. The hammam, the public, the hammam baths that they used to have, the fire in the hammam for up to 6 months in Cairo was fueled from the books of the libraries of the Shia. This is how our literature has been destroyed, Ahibai. Our conclusion over here, 3 to 4 things. Number 1, the maqtal, and we have even shawahid, by the way, before I go into the conclusion. We have shawahid. We have indicators where the maqtal of Asbagh ibn Nabaga was actually referred to in the writings of Tabari and in the writings of Al-Khawarizmi. Tabari and Khawarizmi both are Sunni scholars, and both of them have written works on Karbala. Tariq Tabari, there is a big detail of our maqtal that is found in Tariq Tabari. Tariq Tabari, to a great extent, quotes from the writings of Qasim ibn Asbagh ibn Nubata. Qasim, the son of Asbagh ibn Nubata. Now we have a separate parallel research that shows that Qasim, together with his father Asbagh ibn Nubata, wrote the maqtal together. And the khususiyat of this maqtal is that they wrote down what happened on Ashura from eyewitnesses who were present in Karbala, be it from the camp of Imam al-Hussein or be it from the enemies. So this maqtal has khususiyat because these were witnesses. A lot of the adab, one of the things that Qasim writes over here is that he sees, I saw with my own eyes the adab that befell upon that la'in who shot an arrow on the neck of Imam al-Hussein. On the day of Ashura, when they formed a barrier against Imam al-Hussein and the Furat, they shot arrows towards him. One of the person who shot an arrow towards Imam al-Hussein did dua against him. He said to him, may you die thirsty in the dunya as well as the akhirah. Qasim, the son of Asbagh ibn Nubata, says, I saw this enemy with my own eyes, and I saw him till the end of his life. No matter how many cups of cold water were given to him to drink, he would complain that he is thirsty until the day he died. Same thing, Qasim, the son of Asbagh ibn Nubata, with his 2 eyes saw the killer of Moulana Abul Fadl al-Abbas. And he saw how his complexion had become la'nati, his face had turned into la'nati features. At-Tabari and Khawarizmi, both of them were Sunnis. Khawarizmi has written a Maqtal, Maqatil al-Talibiyin. Both of them reference Qasim ibn Asbagh ibn Nubata. Qasim, the son of Asbagh ibn Nubata. Tamam, where did they get these writings from? We have enough indication and proof that this was from the Maqtal of Asbagh ibn Nubata. Father and son worked together under the command of Imam al-Sajjad and Imam al-Baqir. Because if you know from the Sifat of Asbagh ibn Nubata that he was a muwali and he felt it was his duty that there should be nashr and spread of the knowledge of Ali Muhammad, then the first of these things would have been the Maqtal. In any case, Maqtal got destroyed during the time of Sheikh Tusi. Conclusions. Number one, Ahibai, from the khususiyat of Karbala is that the events of the Maqtal were recorded immediately from 61 AH, unlike a majority of historical events that are transcribed and written hundreds of years later. This is number one. And we have more Maqtals after that, Maqtals that were written at the time of the 5th Imam, 6th Imam, 7th Imam. The Imam had tashdeed in this regards. Inshallah, in the future, if we have time, we'll talk about this. So this was point number one. Number two, Ahibai, whatever has reached us from the Maqtal of Imam al-Hussein, whatever has reached us from the Madhlumiyat of Imam al-Hussein is nothing but a drop in the ocean. Majority of what happened on the day of Ashura, like what happened in the library of Sheikh Tusi, our literature has got destroyed. And if there are scholars who through their research and through hidden manuscripts find information about the Maqtal, don't be quick to say this is a lie or this is fabricated or ye humne pehle nahi suna, humne nahi pehle suna. So what? Doesn't mean that we have access to all the ilm. Ilm is jari, it's a running water. And don't ever forget that the ilm of Ali Muhammad will always remain jari, because the people who work in the institution of ilm are under the shadow of Imam Sahib al-Amri wa Zaman. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Before Shahr Muharram in Najaf, one of our colleagues, they found a copy of a Maqtal written by a Sunni scholar that was found as a manuscript in one of the libraries in Spain. The date of that Maqtal is 650, 660. Taraddud is from my side. 650, 670 AH. There are details in this Maqtal. When we had a look at it, Ahibai, Siddiq person can die out of grief. Siddiq person can die out of grief. Kalam, Khatib is scared to say this kalam. Khatib himself may die on the member. Number two, never be at haste to give hukum that this is fabricated because we didn't hear about this. This is not. What we know about Karbala, we don't know anything about Karbala. Whatever we have is an ounce. Number three, Ahibai, which is the verse of the Holy Quran. يُحِقُّ اللَّهُ الْحَقَّ بِكَلِمَاتِهِ وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْمُجْرِمُونَ. No matter how much the oppressor and the zalim tries to hide and obliterate Karbala, Allah Azza wa Jal has decided that Karbala will remain alive. Despite these regimes from Bani Umayyah, all the way till Saddam and after Saddam, they did everything in their power to make sure that the dhikr of Imam al-Hussein doesn't remain. They threw our literature in the rivers. They burnt our literatures. Yet, today, you come and you find in every corner of the earth, there are people doing matam and saying, Ya Hussein. This in itself is the greatest alama that the aqidah that you are on is the aqidah of haqq. There is no other madhab that could survive oppression like the way the madhab of Ali Muhammad has survived. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajjal faraj. Kalam kathir, and I know we have gone over the time as well, so forgive me. and it's Laylatul Jum'ah, inshallah. I pray that on a night like this, our mu'mineen, mu'minat are granted the rahmah and their graves are made into a garden from the gardens of Jannah. Mu'mineen, mu'minat who are not in the best of health are granted shafa'ah, inshallah. And on a night like this, it is decreed for all of us that we are given the rizq. We are able to perform the ziyarah of Sayyid al-Shuhada in the dunya and gain his shafa'ah in the akhirah with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Ahiba'il, Majlis of Imam al-Husain and Laylatul Jum'ah cannot be complete without the dhikr of the masa'ib of Sayyid al-Shuhada. And from the masa'ib of Imam al-Husain on the 11th of Muharram, Allahu Akbar, when Ali Muhammad were leaving Karbala, the Maktal mentions over here that when the women and the children were tied in chains and they were being taken from Karbala to Kufa, Umar ibn Sa'ad cried out, "Take the women and children through the Maidan." He said, "Why?" He says, "Let the women and the children see the dead bodies of their family members. If they see the bodies, this is going to hurt them more. Let them hurt and let them cry." Which is why when they were taken through the Maidan, Allahu Akbar, this daughter of Imam al-Husain, Sayyida Sukayna, she threw herself on the body of her father, Sayyid al-Shuhada. Maktal mentions that very gently she kissed the chest of Imam al-Husain. Allahu Akbar. When you look into the Maktal and you ask yourself why she kissed the chest gently, this is the chest that has been broken and trampled upon. Sayyida Sukayna very gently kisses the chest of Imam al-Husayn. She puts her cheek on the chest of Imam until Sayyida Sukayna faints out of grief. As she fainted, Sayyida Sukayna says that I heard the voice of my father come from the manhar. Allahu Akbar. Do you know what is the manhar? Muhibban Shia Zale Muhammad Matamis. The manhar is that part of the neck. The manhar is that part of the neck where the head was separated from the rest of the body. Allah. Sayyida Sukayna from the manhar, she hears a voice, she hears the voice of Imam al-Husayn. Imam al-Husayn says to her, "Ya Sakina, ballighi shi'ati salami." Allah. This is a message from Imam al-Husayn on the 11th of Muharram for you and me. He says, "Oh Sukayna, give my salams to my Shia." Wa alaykum salam ya Aba Abdullah. But Sukayna, Imam al-Husayn says to Sukayna, "Ballighi salami li shi'ati." Give my salams to my Shia and say to them, "Shi'ati, mahma sharibtum udhba ma'in fadhkuruni." He says, "Tell my Shia, whenever you drink water, remember my thirst." Allahu Akbar. This is the wasiyah of Imam al-Husayn to me and you. Matamis. Ba'ad, Imam al-Husayn says to Sukayna, وَإِن سَمِعْتُمْ عَنْ شَهِيدٍ فَانْدِبُونِ. If you ever hear that there is a shaheed or a gharib amongst you, then make sure you cry for me and you remember my dhikr. Ba'ad, Imam al-Husayn says to Sayyida Sukayna, فَأَنَا سِبْتُ الَّذِي بِغَيْرِ جُرْمٍ قَتَلُونِي. I am that grandson of Rasulullah. I didn't have any sin, and yet they gathered together to kill me. وَبَعْدَهُ بِجَرْدِ الْخَيْلِ. And after that, with the hooves of the horses, they trampled on my body. Allahu Akbar. This is the risala of Imam al-Husayn to you. This is the message of Imam al-Husayn to you. Now, yesterday we were saying there is a relationship between us and the Imam, and this is the relationship of bay'ah. But I tell you, Shias of Ali Muhammad, you are lovers of Imam al-Hussein. This is Shay'un Azim. You don't know how much love Imam al-Hussein has for you. Imam al-Hussein had a tamanni. Imam al-Hussein had a tamanni, meaning what? He had a wish, he had a desire. And he says this desire to Sayyidah Sukaina. What is this desire? He says to Sayyidah Sukaina, Layta shi'ati tanzuruni kayfa astaskili tifli. Imam al-Husayn's tamanna was this. He says to Sukaina, I wish my Shias were here on the day of Ashura to see how I went to get water for my baby Ali Asghar. Shia Ali Muhammad, Imam al-Husayn wanted you to see his madhlumiyat when he took Ali al-Asghar and he said to them, feed this baby water. Imam al-Husayn says, but they didn't have rahmah, so they fed the baby instead of water with an arrow. Allahu Akbar. Maktal says Imam al-Husayn saw what he saw, but when he was returning the infant back to the Khaymaga, there are two things that happened over here. When Imam al-Husayn was returning back, Ali Asghar is in his hands. You know what the Maktal says? This musibah was so heavy on the heart of Imam al-Husayn. A voice came from the heavens, Da'hu ya Husayn. Give him, leave him ya Husayn. There is a nurse for him in Jannah. Ya Shia Ali Muhammad, I didn't find in the Maktal whose voice was this or where the voice came from. But Ya Matamis, my heart tells me that this was the call from Sayyidah Fatima Zahra. He's telling Imam al-Husayn, give me Ali Asghar. I will keep him with Muhsin and I will take care of them in Jannah. Hussein.
दीन अहमद की बखा है करबला, दीन अहमद की बखा है करबला, सजदगाहे अंबिया है करबला, दीन अहमद की याली करबला, सजदगाहे अंबिया है करबला, दीन अहमद की बका है करबला, दीन अहमद की बका है करबला, जुल्म की आंधी में हक की जोस्तजू, तशनगी करती है जख्मों से वजू, करती है जख्मों से वजू, सब्र के बंदे की रब से गुफ्तगू, सब्र के बंदे की रब से गुफ्तगू, हश्र तक हक की सदा है करबला, अहमद की बका है करबला, दीन अहमद की बका है करबला, इन फजाओं में है अकबर की अज़ान, अकबर की अज़ान, करबला हक का है ऐसा कारवान, کارواں آج تک قائم ہے جس کا پاسباں آج تک قائم ہے جس کا پاسباں نور کا ایک سلسلہ ہے کربلا احمد کی بقا ہے کربلا دین احمد کی بقا ہے کربلا کربلا احساس کی پہچان ہے احساس کی پہچان ہے کربلا کا دین پر احسان ہے کربلا کا دین پر احسان ہے کربلا ہر رخ سے عالی شان ہے کربلا ہر رخ سے عالی شان ہے فکر کی حد سے سوا ہے کربلا احمد کی بقا ہے کربلا دین احمد کی بقا ہے کربلا ہے کہاں اس خاک کا نعم البدل اس خاک کا نعم البدل پیاس کی دھرتی پاشکوں کا محل کی دھرتی پاشکوں کا محل کربلا حیا لا خیر العمل 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 بندگی کی انتہا ہے کربلا احمد کی بقا ہے کربلا دین احمد کی بقا ہے کربلا دشت میں میت ہے شے کی بے کفن میت ہے شے کی بے کفن چھن گئی چادر ہے بازو میں رسن چھن گئی چادر ہے بازو میں رسن کیا کرے عباس کی بے کس بہن کیا کرے عباس کی بے کس بہن صبر کا ایک مارکا ہے کربلا احمد کی بقا ہے کربلا دین احمد کی بقا ہے کربلا آگ دامن میں سکینہ کے لگی دامن میں سکینہ کے لگی تازیان شمر کے کھاتی رہی تازیان شمر کے کھاتی رہی جلتے زخموں نے بڑھائی تشنگی جلتے زخموں نے بڑھائی تشنگی پیاس کا ایک معجزہ ہے کربلا احمد کی بقا ہے کربلا دین احمد کی بقا ہے کربلا یوں ملا پرسا یتیمی کو یہاں پرسا یتیمی کو یہاں گال پر ابھرے تماچوں کے نشان تماچوں کے نشان کان زخمی ہے کہاں ہے بالیاں زخمی ہے کہاں ہے بالیاں ایک مسلسل مرثیہ ہے کربلا احمد کی بقا ہے کربلا دین احمد کی بقا ہے کربلا مجلس شبیر ہوتی ہے جہاں شبیر ہوتی ہے جہاں فاطمہ تشریف لاتی ہے وہاں تشریف لاتی ہے وہاں اے رشید ایسی عبادت ہے کہاں رشید ایسی عبادت ہے کہاں ہاں مقدر کی عطا ہے کربلا احمد کی بقا ہے کربلا دین احمد کی بقا ہے
سجدگاہ انبیاء ہے کربلا یا حسین
یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین زینب نکل آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر 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 مولا یہ صدا دیتے تھے مولا یہ صدا دیتے تھے اے شمر ستمگر زینب نکل آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر زینب نکل آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر آخر تو سفر ہونا ہے اس دار مہن سے دو باتیں تو کر لینے دے بھائی کو بہن سے آتی ہے میری سمت میری لاڈلی خواہر زینب نکل آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر زینب نکل آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر تو لاکھ ستمگر ہے مگر کام یہ کر جا اے شمر میرے سینے سے کچھ دیر اتر جا مر جائے گی اس حال میں دیکھا جو برادر زینب نکل آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر زینب نکل آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر بھائی کی محبت میں وہ بیتاب ہوئی ہے خیمے سے بہت تیز وہ مقتل کو چلی ہے سر سے میری بہنا کے اتر جائے نہ چادر زینب نکل آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر زینب نکل آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر زینب چلی جائے تو ستم چاہے جو ڈھانا ہٹ جائے بہن میری تو خنجر کو چلانا کچھ دیر میرے شانوں پہ رہنے دے میرا سر زینب نکل آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر زینب نکل آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر زینب چلی جائے تو ستم چاہے جو ڈھانا ہٹ جائے بہن میری تو خنجر کو چلانا کچھ دیر میرے شانوں پہ رہنے دے میرا سر زینب نے کلائی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر زینب نے کلائی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر زینب آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر کہنے لگا مولا سے ستمگار یہ ہنس کر پہلے بھی نکل آئی تھی یہ خیمے سے باہر شہ نے کہا جب قتل ہوا تھا علی اکبر زینب نکل آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر زینب نکل آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر سر شے کا جدا کرنے میں مصروف نہیں تھا کیا کہتا ہے مظلوم وہ سنتا ہی نہیں تھا کہتا رہا سر تن سے جدا ہو کے بھی اکبر زینب نکل آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر زینب نکل آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر مولا یہ صدا دیتے تھے مولا یہ صدا دیتے تھے اے شمر ستمگر زینب نکل آئی ہے ذرا روک لے خنجر یا حسین
ابا عبداللہ السلام علیکم ابن رسول اللہ السلام علیکم ابن امیر المؤمنین وابن سید الوسیین السلام علیکم جمیعا شہداء کربلا روحی و جسمی لک الفدا خصوصاً سیدی مولایا یا ابو الفضل العباس ابن امیر المؤمنین و زینب بنت علی و سکینہ بنت الحسین و جمیعا و رحمت اللہ وبرکاتہ السلام علیکم یا غریب الغرباء سلطان ابو الحسن یا علی ابن موسیٰ الرضا السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ السلام علیکم یا صاحب العصر والزمان یا شریک القرآن اجل اللہ تعالی فرجک وسہل اللہ تعالی مخرجک وظہورک وجعلنا من اعوانک وانصارک السلام علیکم جمیعا ورحمۃ اللہ